And welcome to coverage on SpeedcastTV.com of the Formula Atlantic and Formula 1000 events here at the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway. I'm Jim Schrader next to Dorsey Schrader, and it's the coolest day of the week for these guys. And with these little open-wheel cars, a lot of downforce, but what will it matter to them when it comes to temperatures on the racetrack, Dorsey?
Now, I don't think it'll bother these cars as much as we've seen the others, because these are totally adjustable race car. They have a lot of aerodynamic devices. They can use wings and so forth. They can create downforce if they want it. They're the fastest cars we'll see over the weekend. This is a class that I spent 10 years of my career driving.
Now, when it comes to racing, we're going to combine classes, Formula Atlantic and the new Formula 1000 or Formula B. And Keith Grant has the opportunity to become a super sweep champion. So not only has he dominated his division in the Southeast, but he also has the ability, because he won one of the key races, won the national points championship total, and has a chance here at the Runoffs to win. He's got a chance to become a super sweep, a very elite class. I think only one racer thus far has been able to claim that title. Again, a great season capped off there. We mentioned two different groups are racing here in a fairly new class, Dorsey. Here to the SCCA, Formula 1000 has some pretty heavy hitters in it, but it looks like a pretty sporty race car package.
Yeah, and they're calling it Formula B now. These are very lightweight cars, only 1,000 cc, so most of them are running motorcycle engines. That's a 900-pound car with the driver being added into the equation. So that's an extremely light motorcycle-type weight race car.
And with the ground effects they can put on these cars, it should be a lot of fun to watch. And John Bisignano's on pit road to tell us a little bit more about the insights of this Formula A and Formula 1000 events we're about to see. Biz?
Well, as you've been hearing, two classes on the track at the same time, Formula A and Formula B. The white car is a beautiful example of the Formula B chassis. The blue car is a beautiful example of the Formula A chassis. The white car is just only about 10% smaller. Formula means that the cars are built to a set of rules. So for the A cars, they're a little bit longer, a little bit heavier, bigger motors. And for the B cars, just everything is shrunk down. But these are purebred race cars. As they file out, just watch them go by. They have many of the same elements as the most sophisticated race cars out on the track. Full adjustable wings up front, full adjustable sway bars, everything in the suspension, shock absorbers, all fully adjustables. The back wing, of course, is adjustable, how much downforce you can put on those rear wheels. The B cars are a lot smaller in the rear wing than the A cars are, but I'll tell you what, in many parts here at Elkhart Lake, you will see the B cars running faster than the A cars. Certainly not down the straightaways, but through some of the challenging corners, these little B cars, with their smaller size, they can scoot through those very fast corners with an awful lot of genteel speed, and they've got to use every single bit of power that they have. Okay, guys, that's going to make it an interesting race.
On the grid a bit early because we let the Formula Atlantic cars go by, and it's going to be great to watch the fastest class of the weekend here unfold on Saturday here at Road America in the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. They're on a formation lap here. We'll give you a look at the starting lineup for our Formula Atlantic run. On the pole, Keith Grant, we mentioned the Super Sweep eligible driver. Well, he put it on the pole on the first session. The number 40 machine for Keith Grant, the Southeast Division champion. To his outside, Dave Wilcox in a Hoosier Toyota Don Preston and Swan Swift. He's one of the three cars prepared by Merle Swan, last year's division winner, national champion in Formula Atlantic. Michael Mallon, his teammate, starts third in the number 71 machine, the Hoosier Tires TRD Swift 014 out of Liberty Lake, Washington. In row number 2 on the outside, Sadat Yelkin out of Canfield, Ohio. Finished third here last year in his only runoffs appearance to date. Row number 3, Jason Byers in the number 28 machine. He finished second. He got the silver medal last year. He'll start fifth in the number 28 St. Clair A&B Refrigeration Hoosier TRD Ralt RT41. Starting sixth on the grid, Jacek Mukin, his 17th runoffs, still in search of his first national championship out of Laval, Quebec, Canada. In row number 4, the number 77 machine of Jeff Kowalik. Had a great run here last year, finished up in the 5th position. We'll see how he can advance his position in the 77 machine from 7th. To his outside, the CSR champion of 2009 in his only runoffs appearance. It was a victory last year. We'll see how Matt Miller out of Orland Park, Illinois does in the 82 machine starting in the 8th spot. Bill Goldkind is the third car Merle Swan has prepared for this event. He won 3 out of 10 races this year in the Northeast Division. He drives the Crestwood Metal Swift 14. Car number 16 is Bill Goldkind. Starting in the 10th position, the number 60 of Lewis Cooper out of Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, in the Martini St. Charles Voss Water Swift 014A. And Asen Yelkin And number 76, Charles Duncan and Shane Bennock make up the rest of the starting field. This is the Formula B starting order. Again, the Formula 1000. Tom Schweitz Jr., a 4-time national champion on the pole position in our second Group we'll see in this event. Brandon Dixon, the Southeast champion, will run the number 7. He qualified in the second position out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Row number 2 will find Nicky Coelho, a 3-time champion in Formula Continental, and the winner here in the June sprints. He'll start third in the number 81 machine, Kyle Obendorf. The Store chassis, one of 2 in the field, will start in the 4th position in car number 2. Glenn Cooper starts in the 3rd row on the inside out of Roswell, Georgia, second in Southeast Division this year. And to his outside, Jeremy Hill out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Northeast Division champion, second in the national points. Row number 4, William McLaughlin out of Mooresville, Indiana, finished second in the June sprints. And to his outside, J.R. Osborne, a development driver with Store chassis out of Englewood, Colorado. He'll start 8th in the 83. Row number 5, David Burkett in the number 4, and 24, Daniel Robinson. And making up our 6th and final row, the number 86 of Tom Beatty out of Longwood, Florida. And Chris Waterman, who we saw his car on grid. He was the Rocky Mountain champion. He'll start out in the 12th position in the Formula B division. And I did a lot of chatting there. You saw the cars warming up, Dorsey.
The Formula B division, Formula 1000, is the open-wheel equivalent of a D sports racer, just like when you look at Formula Atlantic is the open-wheel version of a C sports racer. And the designation, of course, is just like what John Bizignano talked about. Bigger cars, bigger tires, bigger engines in the A category. Much smaller, lighter weight vehicles when you look at Formula 1000, 1000cc max, 1-liter engines, but very, very light race cars.
And the lap times, really, if you look at the fastest to the slowest of the Formula Atlantics, 202.476 was Keith Grant's pole time. But you go back to the field, they're running about 205s, 206s, somewhere in there for the Gars mid-pack. And then you look over at the Formula B, the Formula 1000s, fast time was a 208.08, so the speeds aren't really that much different.
Now, the cornering speeds, this is what John was talking about before, the cornering speeds themselves are probably going to be very, very near the same, if not maybe favoring the Formula B because of the lighter weight, the more nimble agility of that car in the corner might make it just a skosh quicker in the middle of the corner. But down the straightaway, these Atlantic boys are going to hum.
And they're coming up the front straightaway for the first time to start their first of 13 laps around Road America to determine the national champion. In Formula Atlantic, they'll get the grid and the green flag first. Keith Grant and David Wilcox will lead us to the green flag up the front straightaway. Keith Grant in that green and blue machine will take an early lead here into turn number 1.
Well, I thought Dave Wilcox had a good start going, and all of a sudden Keith Grant just
grabbed another gear, looked like.
Yes, squirted away. You got to be watching the brake zone that you don't bump tires with these cars. They have very, very grippy big tires.
Went way wide there.
You bump tires with one of these, and somebody's going to be airborne.
To the inside goes Malin, looking already on his teammate here for second.
Cold tires right now and cold brakes and so forth. They'll take a little time to come into pressure and to come into their heat cycle.
Jacek Muka in the 07 machine looks like he's going to make a position on the outside to try to get that 4th position coming down the hill into turn 5 for the first time.
Grant with a very big lead for just half of one lap, not even a half of a lap in yet.
Michael Malin is in second. He did get that second spot away from David Wilcox.
Cars are very, very sophisticated. All of these teams, we talk about Merle Swan all the time, have an engineer. I mean, you need an engineer to work on these cars. They're that intricate. I mean, it really is. It's an art, and certainly Merle Swan has shown that he's got the good setup here.
Looking at the last 4 years, Keith Grant has won. His brother David, who took the year off, has won, and then Merle Swan has won 2 races in the last 4. So it really has been a small group of people making it really work in the speed and the things and preparation of Formula Atlantic. This is the start for Formula B. Formula 1000 going up the front stretch and getting their green flag for the first time. Tom Schweitz on the inside, Brandon Dixon to the outside on the 7. They're side by side as we go into turn 1 for the first time.
And with the little engines, 1-liter engines, these guys will draft like mad.
Coelho tip.
And here we go, it's starting.
Coelho looked inside then outside, and that made the 0-0 machine. Jeremy Hill making an evasive maneuver there. Yep. As Coelho was looking where to go, Hill's picked
another trouble down there. 2 more cars make contact and break into turn 3.
And that again was a tussle for the 4th position. Glenn Cooper right in the middle of that one.
3 wide as they come up underneath the bridge, headed down into the turn 5 brake zone.
That black car is Coelho trying to get as many spots on the initial lap as possible.
Boy, very aggressive in this Formula B category.
Schweitz, Dixon, Coelho, and Oberdorf were the first 4 to start the event. We know that Schweitz has an early lead here. Man, what a tussle up front. Brandon Dixon still in second. Coelho in that black car is running in the 4th position.
Lucky nobody got launched in that. Normally when you see that mid-pack spin, it tends to take a lot of people with it, and it's hard to dodge.
2 cars off in turn number 1, including Jeremy Hill, started in the 6th spot. Again, just caught up in that tangle. You mentioned keep it clean through 1. They were not able to do it. Let's take another look here on our SpeedcastTV.com cameras and see how this unfolded. This initial start of the Formula 1000. Look for the black car on the left hand of the screen going across and touching wheels briefly, then coming back right in the path of the 00 Jeremy Hill. Hill gets punted from behind and spins sideways. Really nowhere to go for Hill here.
It all was because of brake lockup early up in the pack. We had to release the pressure, and it really stacked everybody up. These guys can't get untangled as their front suspensions are interlocked. Luckily, nobody got launched, and the car stayed flat on the ground.
Great camera work there, and unfortunately for Jeremy Hill and those guys, it's been a long road here and a longer road home. Hill out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, out of the event after the first turn in Formula 1000.
Wow, Keith Grant set and sail. I mean, he's way, way out in the lead for a one-lap show so far. He is highly favored to win. Like you said, one of the eligible drivers in the weekend that can win it all, if you will. It's only been done, as you said before. One driver so far has been able to pull it off.
It's such a tough category. You've got to win your national points, win your division, win one of the 9 key races, and win this race. This is a non-points race, but you got to do all of that to be crowned a Super Sweep champion. There it is, the run for second position.
Good
the
draft
70
by
machine of David Wilcox tracked right by his teammate in a spot. We didn't see a lot of passing for this point.
And got it done before the turn-in for the kink, which is good. You don't want to go side by side to the kink, but these cars with their downforce, they can do it. They have more grip, mechanical grip, and aero grip than any other car that we're running throughout the weekend. So a lot of downforce on these cars. They can pull off some funny maneuvers, outside passes, and all kind of things.
The fastest of all the amateur categories makes you really have to have a lot of experience and trust in the fellow racer as well.
Well, it is. I mean, these cars brake. They do everything better than any other car. They handle better. They have very good power-to-weight ratio. They have fantastic brakes. It's, this is what used to lead you to a Champ Car career or to a Formula One career back in Europe. This used to be a class. When I started racing, it was called Formula B back then, and it turned into Formula Atlantic. But it was the premier class open wheel.
Yeah, well, we're attending to the safety car, Jeremy Hill in turn number 1, so that's a corner where they cannot do any passing. There's going to be a yellow, standing yellow in that corner only to get the car slowed down so the safety workers can get their job done. As we're looking at 2 different races here, the Formula Atlantics and the Formula B. Kyle Oberdorf now runs in the second spot in the Formula B division. This is the run here.
The dead giveaway on these 2 different types of cars is just look at the tire size. In the Formula Bs, of course, you've got equal size tires, pretty close front and rear, whereas the Formula Atlantic has a very, very large rear tire.
And that was a pass for the lead. Brandon Dixon in the other red car in frame here. He had the lead, but again, that good run by Wilcox on the back half of the course got him the lead here. Oberdorf in the 2. Oberndorf out of Surrey, British Columbia. In the 2 machine leading Brandon Dixon out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Here they are side by side again.
Down in the brake zone for Canada corner. Another pass. Repass.
Oberndorf gives that up there. Is it a matter of respect at this point?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's early in the race, and both these guys realize that the run was being made. There's no need to block at this point. There's no need to do anything, but let the pass happen cleanly. Don't slow both yourselves up, and, go back to war for the next corner.
They're through turn 14. The number 7 machine of Brandon Dixon will be leading the field up the front stretch in Formula B or Formula 1000. They named because of the 1000cc engines they get to run.
Toward the end of the race, that pass wouldn't have been so easy.
I'm sorry, 1,000 pounds, 1.0 liter.
Yeah, 1 liter, 1,000 cc's, you're right there.
So here we go. Into turn number 1. We'll see if any move goes on here. This is the run for Formula 1000. Not this time because of the safety car. That could be a very strong passing point here. It seems like they're feeling each other out. Who is stronger where at this point in the race?
Well, these cars, because they only have that 1 liter engine, when you're in second place, you have the advantage going down these long straightaways because you're going to get that pull off the first place car. And you'll see that happen right now. He's going to run up on the back end, and if he wants to pass, he'll go on down to turn 5 and get that pass done. Or they can choose to work together and try to stay in front of that gap behind.
It is in the running order right now. It's Dixon, Oberndorf, right here through turn 5, getting around a slower car up the hill here. Then comes Schweitz, the pole sitter, Coelho back and forth.
Slower car does a good job staying out of the way. Saw those guys coming and just said, go on.
And they have a wicked pace going on right here as well. They're in the 2 minute and 10 second range. Again, we qualified in a different day, different weather altogether. Monday was a much nicer day than today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that rain and that wind that we got yesterday really slowed everything up. That third place car, the one that got lapped, is a smoker, having some sort of an engine problem, I believe, trying to get it back to pit lane.
There's the 81 of Nicky Coelho. Received the President's Award in 2009 for his outstanding abilities in both in the pits and behind the wheel in the SCCA. And Coelho, again, 3-time Formula Continental champ, has made this jump to this Formula 1000 class and currently runs in 4th.
Cars are very close to the same as cars, a Continental, from the standpoint of the chassis, but the engine, of course, is not the same at all. These 1 liter engines are all motorcycle engines, are very light. They scream. I mean, you can tell a lot of RPM out of these but they're very much a momentum class car. They're not very good at accelerating from dead stop.
And here we have that run down to the Bill Mitchell Bend. Used to be the Bill Mitchell Bridge, and the field is spreading out just a little bit here, Dorsey. I would think at this point aerodynamics are critical, but race pace, are you racing the guy in front of you, or are you racing the track at this point because the cool temps and now just trying to build up on the fourth circuit around here?
These Formula B, Formula 1000 guys are brand new classes here, so I mean literally they're probably still developing the car, they're still developing the engine, learning about the cars themselves, whereas the Formula Atlantic guys have raced for many years together and have a lot more experience.
And
as
this
you
is
see your leader.
The Formula Atlantic leader. No question there that Keith Grant came in here as the favorite, and he's not disappointed, leading each session and leading the race here in Formula Atlantic up the hill to complete lap number 4. Keith Grant out of Germantown, Tennessee, again won his division. He has one national championship to his credit in GT4, a whole different car than what he's racing right here.
These Atlantic cars have gotten to be very, very expensive race cars. When I started running, it was Formula B, and even when they were flat bottom cars, these cars were affordable. Nowadays, those cars are very, very expensive, and in its own way, I think caused the demise of the class, because very few people in today's economy can afford to run, what it takes to run one of these. In the Pro Series, there were guys spending well over $1 million to run an Atlantic car, so that's a heck of a lot of money.
Well, here's that smaller engine, smaller car. A lot of great racing here. This is the race for the lead in Formula B.
This would be a fun class. Somebody off the road up there. Like I say, it's a brand new class, so not a lot of cars out yet.
First time at the runoffs, and it looks like the 72 machine of Tom Schweitz has now taken third position and holding on to it comfortably. Ahead of him is that race for second position.
Being as light as those cars are, Schweitz taking over second place there. They handle fantastic. I mean, there's no weight there, so the power to weight ratio is still good.
There is Oberndorf. So Oberndorf did get passed by Schweitz. So Schweitz back on his own pace, and Oberndorf back to third after starting this race and leading for a portion, swapping lead with Dixon, who leads them now in to the turn 12 area. There's Coelho. He currently runs in the fourth position within class in Formula B. Coelho on the pole for the Formula Continental. So in terms of how he gets racing time and track time, it has to play a big role here in two different but similar cars.
Okay, Coelho also was very, very good in Formula Ford in his day, so that's another underpowered type class.
Yeah.
That's brother.
Yep.
These guys have a lot of open wheel experience in different classes as you bring it up.
Up the hill again. Two races going on here. Two of the 29 national champions will be crowned in this single event. 40 minutes or 13 laps.
Oh, boy.
Here's a bunch of cars trying to find a way through here.
Now they made it all work. It looked a little tenuous at first, but it worked itself out.
Through Canada up the Bill Mitchell Bend, and there's only two more circuits before they get to that mile-long front straightaway. In that runoff area, that cutoff between 12 and 5 really gets to be playing as an extra plane to run on here.
Yeah, before,
back in line.
when the bridge was there, you couldn't see that piece of asphalt out there. You'd come up underneath the bridge, and then you'd kind of just land on it out there, but you were never really sure because the bridge obstructed your vision. Now, I'm sure it's much easier.
And that is the position change for sixth in Formula Atlantic. Jason Byers has taken that position over. He finished second here last year, and he's not done yet.
I think about 3 wide going in there. They got that worked out.
We just got a glimpse of Sadat Yelkin racing in the 10th position. Excuse me, that's his brother. That's a battle for fifth here. Yelkin in the 75 in fifth. Running fourth is Jacek Muka just ahead of him. Fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh in Formula Atlantic now, heading down to 5.
Got to really watch dropping wheels and things off on these cars. Their ride height is nothing. I mean, they're literally on the ground as low as you can get to the ground.
And Dorsey, you spent 10 years in these cars. How stiff are these cars built?
Oh, they're really stiff because they make a lot of downforce, and they create that downforce. You got to put a lot of spring in the car to hold them up off the ground. And like I say, you're setting up with a static ride height very, very near the ground, so you can't have very much suspension travel. You got to limit the car's suspension travel to less than an inch.
And a great battle here again. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, right here coming down to a tricky area here. Let's see how they break through this one. That's Jacek Muka in the 07 machine, holding position now on Sadat Yelkin.
These Atlantic cars evolved over the years. The chassis, I should say, and the aerodynamics evolved over the years, and it became a spec series where all the cars were running the same chassis for a long time, but not here in the runoffs. Here in the runoffs, you can run older chassis, newer chassis, and so forth. Certainly the newer chassis stuff, that the technology level was so much higher that it's the only way to go. You can't run the old car and hope to beat the new car anymore.
Well, Dave Wilcox has an older car. He qualified well, but now he's not in. He's in the chase. As a matter of fact, running in the second spot. I understand it's a bit older chassis, but there had to be a ton of updates to it.
Oh, it's constant evolution on this class, no question about it. That, there used to be an A and B class in Formula Atlantic, and the B class being the older chassis, not knowing that they couldn't possibly compete with the high-tech, newer stuff.
And Sadat Yelkin appears to be faster through the hurry downs area and up through 12. He got past Jacek Muka. And that now will change the order up front in Formula Atlantic. It's Grant, Wilcox, Malinen, now Yelkin, then Muka. And Muka's not done yet. He's looking to the outside of Sadat Yelkin. Yelkin in that black and blue machine.
Boy, he got a lot better run.
Just able to tuck it wide and get in the corner. Right behind them, the 28 of Byers. Jason Byers in that black and red machine. The 77, Jeff Kowalik, started back in 7th. He's the yellow car in frame there. They're all battling for position number 4 here in Formula Atlantic.
Long straightaway here as you go down in turn 5. They'll get a little draft off each other. Not as much as other cars. These are pretty slippery aero cars. Here we go into the brake zone.
Sadat Yelkin, his car last year prepared by Merle Swan, but this year they are on their own course. He and his brother Asen are racing the team cars, 75 and 76 on the numbers. Sadat having a better season amongst the Yelkins. And holding off Jacek Muka here. Muka's been really fine-tuning the CSR class and the Atlantic with the bodywork, basically, as it comes out to be. And he's been doing a lot of work, and it's good to see him in the Atlantics here, getting to test those machines as well. That's Musik there in the 07, the white on black.
In the amateur class, I mean, it's kind of neat that you could take a car like either one of these, Formula A or B, and then put a body on it and run it as a C Sports racer or D Sports racer. That way it keeps your costs down to some extent. You got to have 2 sets of bodywork and so forth. But all in all, for an amateur standpoint, it's double the fun.
And the racers are on track, and the fans are enjoying a solid event as well, as we're going to take a step away to commercial here as the racing continues in Formula Atlantic and Formula 1000 in the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway. Stay with us.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
And that is the machine, the Formula 1000 of the 17. Chris Waterman. We took a close-up look at his car with John Bizignano on the grid. Chris currently running in the 23rd position overall, and in class he's running behind what is a very spirited battle with the racer up front, the number 7 machine of Brandon Dixon, the national points champion. Here's a battle now for the 75. That is Sadat Yelkin actually passing Waterman within classes. They're getting mixed up here now.
Yeah, you could see the difference right there. The Formula Atlantic car had a lot more braking potential for that corner, had a lot more cornering potential, and easily once by just set sail.
And Sadat Yelkin really had a good run going with Jacek Muka, but that proves how fast his car has now developed to be. We see the 28 machine of Byers also getting by Jacek Muka. That's the 28 of Jason Byers out of Livonia, Michigan. He is now in the 5th position in Formula Atlantic.
Don't see these cars slide around as much as we've been watching all the other cars. With the amount of mechanical and aerodynamic grip these cars make, you just don't get them very sideways.
Jacek Muka right there in front of the 77 of Jeff Kowalik, the yellow car now. Kowalik moving into contention here, up into the 6th position. Now just lost a spot to Muka, so put him back to 7th. Now he changed gears. This is the Formula 1000 race leader, the number 7 machine of Brandon Dixon.
Pretty good lead Brandon's got going right now. He's broke free from the rest of the pack, enough so that they're not even close to being up in this draft.
Got about 4-second advantage over pole sitter Tom Schweitz Jr., a 4-time national champion. Behind this number 7 machine is a great 2-car battle for second. Battling over the silver medal, Tom Schweitz Jr. and Nicky Coelho.
Something dangling at the back of his car. I don't think it's any concern, but little plug or something looked like came loose back there.
Ah, it's Keith Grant entering the picture here.
Yeah, that's your overall leader, about to lap his way through this crowd.
About to lap the leader of the Formula 1000 race, too.
Yeah, and he's not doing, he's just taking plenty of time. He knows he's got a huge lead. You know, he could have, if he was desperate, could have got that done before, but no need to. 8 seconds he's got a lead right now over second place in Atlantic.
Good run by Keith Grant. Again, we talk about how good he is. He won 7 of 8 races by mid-June. So by the time he came to the June sprints time, he already had his 7 wins in on the year and won his division.
Yeah, like I said, that the cost of doing business in the Atlantic class got to be so high as we got a yellow out here in the kink for some reason, which is they're telling the driver something up ahead. So maybe up by Canada we got problems. And there's Canada corner. I see nothing here.
Nothing in frame. We see Sadat Yelkin coming through, running 4th in the Formula Atlantic division.
There it is.
Lower right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah.
Formula 1000 car has found the barrier.
And that's off the outside of the straightaway, believe it or not, as you approach the Canada corner. I guess that's exit of the kink, believe it or not.
So it's to the left of our camera view here.
Yeah, that is exit of the kink. And it's just around the corner from where the guy's holding the yellow flag, so that could have been a big incident right there.
And with these cars being the fastest of the weekend, that's a very precarious spot to be.
Yeah. That car,
corner, hard on it.
You know, anytime you're in a situation like in the carousel of the kink, in these kind of cars, and you see yellow, you've got to really be heads up because the speed in those corners is so huge. And you don't know what's around that corner until you get there the first time. That car didn't look like it was too badly damaged. It might, in fact, have been a mechanical issue where the driver pulled it around the back part of that barrier to get it off the racetrack.
We are 9 laps into this one. Formula Atlantic in hand with Keith Grant up front. Also the 7 of Brandon Dixon. He's got a handle on the Formula 1000 division. Brandon Dixon, like he did at Road America during the June sprints, has posted the fastest lap in the Formula 1000s at a 207.979 second circuit.
Wilcox ran a really good number for second place in Formula Atlantic. That's much faster than he qualified. He ran a 202.4. His qualifying number was a 203. So I mean, that's a huge gain in speed. This is a cool day, though. When we talked about that too, the fact that it's nice, cool atmosphere, a cool day today will make these cars pretty fast.
4 cars now racing down into turn number 5. That's Jacek Muka ahead. That 77 of Jeff Kowalik is running in the 8th position now. The 82 right between those two is the 82 machine of Matt Miller. Miller started in the 8th position in Formula Atlantic, and now he's in the chase for a top 10 run, trying to get a top 5 out of this one before it's over.
David Wilcox took away 3 seconds from Grant's lead. Now, I don't know if that's because Grant has backed it down only with a few laps left to go, and he's just more or less a mirror driving now. But on the other hand, you look at Dave Wilcox, he's run a 202.4. That's the fastest race lap and much faster than he qualified at. So he has definitely got his hammer down.
Kowalik there in the yellow machine. The first time that Mazda Power has run in the Formula Atlantics, and Kowalik's doing a fine job, as is Miller. They're running 7th and 8th in this class.
See the wrecker off to the left there, attending to the car, which I do believe probably just broke down. I don't think it was a wreck.
Now there's yellow in every corner, standing yellow around the course here. No one able to pass. Full course caution.
Well, that could be interesting now when we get the 2 Atlantic cars together, because Dave Wilcox running at a 202.4 is faster than Keith Grant, who was our leader.
That'll be interesting. Once they get through traffic now, they're going to line up with the leader being Grant.
And they're not going to have many laps to go. I mean, we've got 2 laps to go after this. If that is not a crash car down in the kink, if that's just a flat toe car, they'll get that around that and out of there pretty quickly. So we'll go back to green, and it will be a sprint race, that's for sure.
The fastest cars and what could be the fastest 2 laps of the weekend here to decide it. Grant was somewhat in a comfortable pace in Formula Atlantic, as well as Brandon Dixon in Formula 1000. Here is the running order as we stand right now. Keith Grant leading Dave Wilcox.
And you see off to the right, the best lap times, 202.90 for Keith Grant. 202.4, that's a stellar lap Dave Wilcox threw in.
And Malinan, his teammate, again prepared by Merle Swan, the 70 and the 71, running 2nd and 3rd. Sadat Yelkin right in the mix as he was last year here at the championship runoffs for the first time at Road America in 2009. Jason Byers sitting back in the 5th position. Jason had a good run here last year. He got a silver medal out of it. Jacek Muka in 6th. Again, he's in that tight battle, or he was, Matt Miller and Jeffrey Kowalik. And Asenyoka now is jumped up to 8th position in the last lap or so.
Well, I hope they get the course cleared up to where they can go back to green. I'd love to see this restart, with 1 lap to go or 2 laps to go. You look at the running order in Formula B right there. Brandon Dixon also had a very, very big lead over Tom Schweitz Jr., but now that all goes away.
And Brandon also running faster than his qualifying times as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the day. This day is so cold outside, and it's really going to be a perfect day for making horsepower out of these engines.
And we believe the 86 of Tom Beattie in the Formula 1000 is the reason why we have slowed to a full course caution. He's out of the car. Great news there, but the 86 of Tom Beattie is the reason for this full course caution. And looking down the times, we don't see a whole lot of. It could be overlapped, really, Formula A and Formula B, in terms of the times, and the engines are so different.
Yeah, with the exception of the top 2 guys in Formula Atlanta running in those 202 range, that's pretty fast. These cars will develop and get faster. These Formula B or Formula 1000 cars they'll morph into something with more speed as they get more miles on it.
As the safety car is out in front of the field to bring them around again.
Light's still on the safety car, so they probably have not gathered up all of the field, because remember, the Formula B cars were, some of them a lap down, some of them, on different parts of a 4-mile racetrack. It takes a while to gather up, and unfortunately, we could be running out of time because we're definitely running out of laps.
And again, Keith Grant, the pole sitter, led from the opening start here in the Formula Atlantic division. Brandon Dixon started second, but made a really bold move on Kyle Oberdorf and got the lead away and pulled out to a lead. And now we bring the field back together here. 2 divisions racing at the same time. Very common in road racing. When it comes to national championships, that's sometimes the first time they get their own division all by themselves on the racetrack.
It's funny because it's potentially the fastest of the Formula cars. It definitely is in Formula Atlantic. And in the 1000 class, it could be the slowest of the Formula cars, although I would tend to believe that these are much quicker than a Formula B. They run out there at the same time because the cornering speeds are probably pretty near equal to both classes. Just straightaway speeds are going to be different, obviously, and braking zones will be different, but the cornering potential of the cars is probably very close.
And I would never want the job of figuring out what classes race with whom. There could be sedans racing with Formula cars if their speeds match and their corner speeds match.
That's the thing you never get right, no matter what you do.
Who wants that job? Anyone? No one raises their hand in that opportunity. The SCCA National Championship runoffs continue. We want to remind you that coming up yet today, after this event runs, we've got the Showroom Stock B division, and then we got the reunion of Dorsey Schrader and Greg Creamer calling H Production, and we'll wrap up the day with GT1 and C Sports Racing, as well as the S2000. They're going to run together, CSR and S2. So it's going to be pretty neat to see the racing yet today, and there's 8 more events tomorrow. So make sure you join us. Set your schedule accordingly to join us on SpeedcastTV.com throughout the day. And this race may come down to the final few corners here under caution, unfortunately. We'll have to find out.
Lights are out on the pace car.
All right.
I think we will get a green for maybe a 1-lap sprint. I think that's... Now, it just came back on. I see it back there.
Oh, the lights just came back on here.
Yep.
Okay, the lights are still on, but they may be off, so let's stay right here in case we go... In case we get to a green flag situation.
You saw what happened was the pace car was right there with the field behind it, but there was 2 or 3 cars trapped in front of it, on the racing surface still. So you can't hardly go green with the cars in front of the pace car. So those guys have been told to scoot around and catch back up.
And it's such a difficult call with all the cars really spread out throughout the course.
Yeah.
Chris Waterman is running in the back half of the Formula B, and he got picked up by the pace car. He got sent around with 2 other cars as well.
And the lights are still on. This is turn 14 coming on the front straightaway. So unfortunately, I think this one's going to come up the straightaway one more time behind the yellow. We won't get it. No, he's turned them off.
But the good news is Jeremy Hill is in front of this pack here. We see Keith Grant. We're going to go green for a 1-lap shootout here. Jeremy Hill with front end damage, returned to the racetrack after that turn 1, corner 1 incident. He's ahead of this field here. The 3rd car in line is what you want to keep your eyes on. That's Keith Grant, the race leader in Formula Atlantic.
And he's going around easily the car in front of him.
4 miles to decide the championship here. Darting to the inside, that is a battle for the win.
Yeah, that's the Atlantic. You see, somebody real wide.
That's Jeremy Hill. He's got that front end damage, no downforce in the front end of his machine.
Wilcox, watch this. He really, really had the fastest race lap so far, and he's shown the speed. This is going to be a battle right here.
Grant had built that lead through traffic, had the distance. Now it's down to this final half lap, down into turn 5, one of the 2 popular passing places here.
Oh, and here he comes on the outside. Oh, it's a tough way to go, but they're wheel to wheel.
Grant made it wide enough, didn't he?
Oh, and he didn't get the grip out there. Dave Wilcox goes wide, loses some ground. Half a lap more to try.
Where's his next shot, Dorsey?
Down into 8. He's not close enough right now. Oh, and a big skirmish down in turn 5, 3 cars around. These are all our Formula 1000, Formula B cars, I believe.
That's the 28 of Byers.
That's Atlantic over there.
He was in a top 5 run. You see the right front cocked on that one, so he's not going anywhere. Unfortunately for him, this last lap, a painful one.
Oh, this is getting desperate. And why wouldn't it be last lap of the national championships?
Brandon Dixon leading the Formula 1000s in the pack here on the final circuit. The Formula 1000, there's the 75 of Sadat Yelkin running fourth. This
Keith
is Wilcox.
Grant.
He lost the distance
Yeah,
here.
Keith Grant opens up the lead now. He's just about a half a lap away from being able to win this thing if you can hold him off. Dave Wilcox got a good run down in turn 5, but just couldn't get it done. Closes up here in Canada. Little hard into the corner and loses grip there too.
But Wilcox does not seem to have what he needs. He does not get the closure here.
He's got one more time. Breaking to turn 14 right here.
All or nothing.
And then a draft up the hill if he can get the run. He's got a good run off the corner.
Grant drops
wheels. It could happen.
Look at
Pops
this.
out. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. I think Wilcox will get him.
Unbelievable. A perfect season gone awry in one turn, and Dave Wilcox will win the national championship.
Wow, that was a great finish. Wilcox did everything he could do.
Unbelievable finish. That's you have to watch every moment of every lap, and it never is done. Never over till it's over.
Keith Grant dropped those left side wheels off on turn 14 exit, lost that momentum, and Wilcox pounced.
Unbelievable run in a turn of events. We went one lap of green. Boy, we hope you enjoyed it because we sure got excited here because, man, what a run there. The Formula Atlantic race decided on the final corner, and by how many feet? 1.5?
There's
2
the
feet?
spoiler. Everybody thought Keith Grant had run away and hide like he did do, and we get that late race caution. Dave Wilcox showed that he had speed. And I'll tell you what, that car, it's not a rookie.
0.051 seconds, the margin of victory. Let's take another look at this because it's worth taking another look at here, Dorsey. You called it exactly right, and it was fun to watch the first time. We'll take another look here in the final corner of Formula Atlantic to decide the championship.
Wilcox nailed that corner perfectly. Grant dropped left side wheels, lost momentum, popped out early. Now it's just a drag race, and the momentum's going to win every time.
And Wilcox knew it. He had it. He got his fist in the air at the finish line, and Wilcox wins in the car that Merle Swan drove to victory here last year.
And that's an upset. That's a big upset, I'll tell you. Nobody expected, that was going to do it. It was all because of that last late race caution. Stacks the field back up. This is, of course, the aftermath of the crash down in turn 5, which there was two. It looked like 2 Atlanta cars, and one of the 1-liter cars were involved down there.
Yep, and that is Keith. Actually, that looks a lot like Keith Grant's car. What kind of disappointment he has, knowing he had a perfect season, literally go up in the smoke of the tires on the left as he came off of 14 for the final time. But no question, he was on the button. He had to give it all to keep Wilcox behind him.
Well, Wilcox gave a good run attempt down there in Canada corner. Couldn't get it done there when he went up underneath the Mitchell, where the Mitchell Bridge used to be. Mitchell Bend now.
Yeah.
He had the momentum and he drove it down into the corner. So Keith had to go into 14 really hard, a little bit too hot. Enough said.
And the 24 machine, that's a battle for position at the very end. Daniel Robinson able to sneak past the 2 of Kyle Oberndorf. Oberndorf had the lead early on and unfortunately ends up in the 19th position. So he was caught up in a mess as well on that final circuit and gathered it back in.
That was a spoiler. And good for, I tell you what, Dave Wilcox drives really, really well. We love watching this guy, and he really did all the right things today. He wouldn't have had a chance without that caution, but not making a difference.
Unbelievable finish. One of the most exciting runs of the weekend thus far in the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. The champion in Formula Atlantic is Dave Wilcox, and I tell you, the season he's had has been a stout one out of Derby, Kansas. Running that Swift DB4, the Hoosier Toyota Don Preston and Swan machine. Finished second in the Midwest Division. Won 3 out of the 4 events he's run, but it all paid off here on his run as we watch a disappointed Keith Grant unstrap as well, as he thought he might have been the first interview here, but he'll get the silver.
Yep, and of course the red car is the leader, the winner, I should say, in Formula B, Formula 1000.
Brandon Dixon came
the
across
first.
the line first, absolutely.
He's the first at the first.
The first runoffs champion in this class, absolutely.
Yep,
I think I
gets in the
caught
record
all of
book.
that, yes, first of the first. And thanks to Yogi Berra, never over till it's over. Certainly played well here on the call of an exciting last 100 yards of racing. The Formula Atlantic division came down to the final lap of green. Let's go down to John Visidiano with the Mobil 1 winner's interview.
Well, Keith Grant, you look very sad, upset. I mean, my gosh, you dominated that race. Then the number 70 car came by you, and what happened there on the last lap?
I just choked. I was got a little loose in 14 coming back on the front straight. Gave him enough room to close up on me and move past me on the finish.
He actually went by us here in the start-finish line. He's so excited. He's gone back to his pit, so we can't ask him what happened. But did you know that he was clicking off faster laps than you were when you were still out there running flat out?
No.
So when the restart happened, it looks like you got a good jump off the flag.
Yes.
Was the traffic a problem?
No, well, entering 1, I had one car that held me up a little bit on my entry to 1. But from there, it was a clear final lap, and just got a little loose in 14, coming on the front straight, and blew it.
Well, you drove an excellent race. Congratulations on a silver medal. Moving back to our third place finisher in the Formula A category. Again, the first place finisher is not here to be interviewed. Michael receiving his bronze medal. I'll tell you, you played your cards very well during this race. You had a lot of fun, a lot of action, and here you are in third place.
Yeah, you know, the first couple laps, the car, I was fighting the carousel, and we had a little oversteer going through there, so I lost her on the first couple laps. But, yeah, we hung with it, and the car ran great, and here we are. So
well, that's where that experience comes in handy.
That's right. Really happy.
Congratulations on that bronze medal. It's a great drive for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, well, we have 2 classes here, so we're going to try and find number 1. It's a little bit of a celebration down here, which it should be, but our number 1 driver, congratulations on your great medal. Here we have Bonnie's coming in with the gold medal right now. Brandon, you dominated this whole weekend. It had to be a sweet victory for you.
It was awesome. I mean, it's been a great year. We've worked hard. We've developed the cars.
Go ahead, Bonnie. Give him the medal. There you go. That's a much better shot.
Thank you. There you go. Anyway, it was a great race. Had a blast. Got out front, stayed out front. I've got a lot of people, you know, that have helped me get here. Nick Belling at Furman West with a gear shifter.
Why don't you just tell us what you're trying to say?
This is my teammate, Tommy Schweitz, another citation driver. Say whatever you want, man.
Tommy, you are a multiple champion here, but not today.
Not today.
Where was he? Where did he have the advantage on you?
Every corner. Every corner.
But also down the straightaways, the laps you were turning. Get in here, Tommy. You haven't been shy in the past years. Come on. The laps you were turning were almost as fast as your qualifying times. You had to feel comfortable in the car.
Car was great. We made the right tire choice. I think today it was cold, went on the softer compound. Car was hooked up and able to turn quick times.
Congratulations on that gold, Tommy. What about your silver run? You're not in the number 1 position. A little bit strange for you, but you look like you're having fun.
We always have fun when they let us in the car. You know, we got hit on the start and it tore the under tray a little bit, and we went on the harder tires. But Brandon had him covered today. I was just watching his rear.
Congratulations. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Wilcox, our champion in the Formula A division, he was so excited he actually drove to his pit. If we still have time, we'll try and get him for an interview. Back to you guys.
Well, that tire choice was a smart one on this cold day this morning. You know, going to a soft tire and being able to manage it was the right call, no question.
And really, after all the work done, this Livonia, Michigan's Jason Byers that contacted turn 5 on the final green flag lap cost him a top 5 run, but again, getting through there, I'm sure that's a different car. I misidentified it, but he was definitely involved in that incident. This car getting picked up as well on the grass. It looks like going up the hill of 5. I'm not quite certain.
Yeah, that was also involved in that. It's got a right front tire that's flat, if not bent suspension as well. It's one of our Atlantic cars. And it looked like 3 cars initially in that.
And then for the Atlantic race, we mentioned Dave Wilcox was excited. Boy, he was fist pumping across the line. He knew by pulling out early, as you mentioned, coming up this straightaway, had his chance at a victory, and he stole it away from Keith Grant in the Mobil 1 Winners Interview replay. Actually, a retake. Let's go back down to Biz.
David,
I think
part of winning the
winner.
race is coming to the winner's circle, buddy.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I can't believe it. It was just coming off that last corner. Saw Keith got a little wide, got a little in the dirt. I just tried to ride it out and catch a little draft off of him and coming up the hill. It was just barely enough. I can't believe it.
But you had the fastest laps many times during the race. Where were you getting the speed?
Yeah, there was a couple times I got caught right in some critical spots back in the kink and so forth, and just trying to push it back up there. You know, it was kind of working traffic. Whoever got through the traffic best, kind of the winner. So
when you were coming up the hill, when did you know? Now you're looking at the flag station. You're seeing him coming closer and closer. You're on the right-hand side of him. When did you know that you were going to get him?
Man, I tell you, it was probably not 100 feet from the station. I could tell that he wasn't gaining enough to make it, and I just threw my hands up. I could not believe it. This Merle Swan team is phenomenal.
I'll tell you guys, if you want to party tonight, I think the Swan team is throwing one. Back to you.
The bronze medalist in 2008 now gets the gold medal wrapped around his neck. David Wilcox out of Derby, Kansas, wins in Formula Atlantic in dramatic fashion. A last-ditch effort paid off for him.
Dave ran his old car, with an old chassis with no chance of winning. He put on the best driving displays. We just love that guy. Now, he's got proper equipment. Here he goes and gets that championship, well-deserved championship. He is one good driver.
David Wilcox, the winner in Formula Atlantic. Keith Grant again, .051. That's a whisker of a difference here at those speeds. Michael Malonen finishes third. That's a Merle Swan car as well. Sadat Yelkin beats out Asen Yelkin for the fourth position. Jacek Muka finishes sixth. Bill Goldkind in the third car that Merle Swan put together finishes seventh, and Bill's been around for a long time, so yeah, I'm sure he had a ball out there. Jeffrey Kwolek again dropping off in the eighth position. Then we have those cars involved in turn 5. Jason Byers among them. Matt Miller also dropping off the pace very late in the going in the 82 machine.
Well, that's what you get when you have one lap to go and they have a restart. As they say, drop the green flag and the wreck is on.
Well, I had to wait till turn 5. They didn't do it in 1. They waited till 5.
They got it. They got through 1 and 2 and 3 all right. Unfortunately, turn 5 got them.
But the boiling point was a couple laps of caution. David Wilcox, again, getting that opportunity to get behind the race leader, Keith Grant, who had checked out a bit. And here's the look at the Formula 1000 division. Brandon Dixon, again, finishing the race ahead of Tom Schweitz. We just talked to him. They both love their Citation chassis. We got store chassis in there. Ralph Furman's very much involved in the development of the chassis in Formula 1000 as well. Coelho gets the bronze medal in this division. He'll start on the pole in Continental. Glenn Cooper comes up to fourth. A good run by Glenn because I thought we'd see a little bit more of him. He ended up starting fifth and finishing fourth. Bill McLaughlin finishing in the fifth spot. Then comes the rest of the field. Kyle Oberndorf, again, we mentioned, had the lead early, had to recover to finish eighth. J.R. Osborne, I believe, might have been involved as well in that turn 5 incident. And Chris Waterman, as we showed in the 17 machine, had some difficulties as well in this one. But a great run all around. Brandon Dixon kind of checked out. We thought Tom Schweitz would be a bit closer, but as Tom said, and you kind of laughed about it, when you know that Brandon has that good of a car, and you kind of think you have the same stuff,
yeah,
and you're just getting pulled on every corner, every opportunity.
I really think the tire choice was the winning decision right there. Brandon Dixon went with the soft compound tires on this cold day. Thomas went with the harder, and that's usually good for about almost a second a lap. So it paid off. It was the right decision to make. And this is a brand new class, so they're still learning it. The drivers are learning it. The crew guys are doing it. Engineers are learning about these cars. And this class will get faster. It will develop as it goes along and become quicker and quicker.
And that is the champion for 2010, the first ever Runoffs champion for Formula 1000. Brandon Dixon put the helmet back on. I don't think he wants to be too frozen when he gets back because on the cool day, he is certainly taking his lap of honor, a well-deserved one in Formula 1000. Brandon Dixon out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, behind the wheel for one final lap around. And there you see the Formula Atlantic champion for 2010. David Wilcox also taking his lap of honor and saluting the corner workers and the fans here at Road America.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gumout.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Psst.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.